Two-time world champion American figure skater Ilia Malinin spoke about his status as the favorite after winning the short program at the 2026 Olympic Games in Milan, Italy. Malinin leads with 108.16 points. "I'm competing as the favorite, but being the favorite is one thing, and earning gold under pressure is quite another. Of course, I don't take it for granted. I still have some work to do on my free skate," Golden Skate quotes Malanin as saying. The men's singles will present their free skates on Friday, February 13th, when the 2026 Olympic medals will be awarded. Maria Buterskaya considers American figure skater Ilia Malinin the clear favorite to win the Olympics. "Everyone who follows figure skating will say that Malinin is the favorite. I don't know what would have to happen for him to fail and not win gold. Ilia is showing great confidence. There's no doubt about him." Maria Buterskaya, Russia's first world champion in women's single skating, commented on figure skater Petr Gumennik's performance in the short program at the 2026 Olympics. "Petr did a great job holding his own and doing everything. Smart boy. There were so many challenges, from the qualifying competition in Beijing to the music. You prepare, everything's already been honed, sometimes you don't even hear the music, you're only thinking about how to execute an element correctly, and then there's a different score. Obviously, they skated to a 2. Well done for overcoming that. And he even skated first. Everything was stacked against him, as they say. But his ability to concentrate and deliver what he needed to, bravo," Buterskaya said. The excitement following the men's short program at the Milan Olympics has died down, and it's time to take a cool head and look at the numbers. Figure skating is a subjective sport, and the Olympics provide yet another opportunity to prove this. Petr started in the first warm-up due to a lack of international rankings, so rather modest scores were expected. The spread in scores was colossal. While one judge considered Petr's performance close to the top 3, another judge almost knocked the Russian out of the top 20. The spread in scores was almost 15 points. So, who judged the men's short program at the Olympics? Here is the full list of linesmen who rated the quality of the elements. Judge number 1. Yuri Klyashnikov, Azerbaijan. Judge number 2. Tiziana Morandi, Italy. Judge number 3. Nadezhda Fedorova, Georgia. Judge number 4. Daniel Delfa, Spain. Judge number 5. Liana Karen, Canada. Judge number 6. Kristina Lundgren, USA. Judge number 7. Nadezhda Peretskaya, Kazakhstan. Judge number 8. Soo-Young Lee, South Korea. Judge number 9. Anthony Leroy, France. The technical panel remained the same from the men's team competition. Leena Loksanen, Finland, Raoul LeBlanc, Canada, and Clarence Ong, Australia. Heider scored significantly less in the short program than he did in Beijing, but unfortunately, his performance was also worse, only a double toe loop instead of a triple in his combination. The technical panel in Milan was very lenient in regard to under-rotations of the 24 competitors who advanced to the free skate. Only Mexico's Donovan Carrillo received a mark on his jump. In all other cases, the judges awarded Q marks, which didn't affect the base score, but even that was fairly lenient. The score sheets aren't littered with deductions due to marks on jumps. Unclear edges were noted only for 2 athletes who didn't advance to the free skate: Thomas Lorenz Guarino Sabate and Andreas Nordebik. There were several judges on the panel who were favorable to Petr. Yuri Klyashnikov of Azerbaijan generously rated Petr's performance with over 96 points, placing him 4th in his personal top 10. Kristina Lundgren of the USA gave Gumennik over 90 points for his performance, though she placed Petr in a close 11th place. Kazakhstani judge Nadezhda Peretskaya tended to undercut Gumennik, likely because Mikhail Shaderov is one of his direct competitors for the top spots. Her overall score was 84-11, with Peretskaya giving the Russian only 36 points in the component scores. The lowest score for Gumennik in the team was given by Italian judge Tiziana Morandi, 81.44, placing him 17th in her virtual ranking. In addition to her strict technical evaluation, Morandi barely awarded the Olympic debutant a 35 in the components. Canadian Liana Karen placed 19th for Petr. She was the only member of the team to deduct points from the Russian's quadruple Lutz and was more critical of his technical evaluation. In her opinion, Petr received approximately 43.5 points for the elements, compared to an average score of 48.43. Petr placed in the top 10 overall in technical evaluation, but his performance in components significantly dipped, finishing only 18th out of 24 competitors. Things could improve in the free skate, however, as our skater will not start first, but 12th, opening the penultimate warm-up. With such a starting number, the components and bonuses for elements could be higher, but all this is subject to a clean performance. Any mistake could not only set him back, but also impact the overall impression of the performance. How did the experts react to Gumennik's scores? Let's hope he gets a top 10. In my opinion, the judges' scores are objective, Ilia Malinin noted in an interview with Championship. Tamara Moskvina, even before the start of the Olympics, noted that Petra's scores would be withheld. After her performance, Petra, in an interview with Sport24, agreed with the scores. I'm looking at the scores given by the judging panel appointed by the International Skating Union and approved by the IOC. Are we really going to question the scores of the international judging panel? 3-time Olympic champion, 10-time world champion in pair skating, and current Russian State Duma deputy Irina Rodnina responded to Ukrainian figure skater Kirill Marsak's provocative remarks about reigning Russian champion Petr Gumennik. Marsak's comments about Gumennik? I don't even know who that is. If he doesn't like competing with Petr, he should pack his bags and leave the Olympics. I'm sure these words won't have any effect. Apparently, the guy wanted to promote himself. Don't think this could upset Gumennik. An athlete who is qualified for the Olympics won't respond to such provocations, Sport24 quotes Rodnina as saying. 2002 Olympic champion and 4-time world champion in single skating Alexei Yagudin commented on the performance of reigning Russian champion Petr Gumennik. Only the kindest and most positive emotions after Petra's performance. It's obvious to everyone. The loss was the very first combination, which turned out to be a 4+2 rather than a 4+3. There was a loss of speed after the quadruple due to an awkward exit. Perhaps it was even right that he decided to go for a double. It's not a given that he would have made a triple. After all, the judges have been very harsh on under rotations lately. This was the only loss in the entire program, so Petr deserves credit. Plus, the entire situation around him, the music issues, and being the first starter, all of this also impacts his preparation. Many moments can chop the integrity of the program, and the peak of his nerves came precisely during the execution of the first element. But note that all the non-jumping elements of the fourth level, everything was fully rotated, everything was held together. I give him a standing ovation, because I know that compared to the other competitors, he is not just double the Olympic pressure, it's several times higher. There are certain hopes and expectations from both the country and the federation. They're literally scrutinizing him, which is why I'm giving him a standing ovation. His performance is worthy of respect. I heard that Petr's shoelace even came undone before his first combination, and if that's true, I bow my head in his honor. It's also important to understand that the key performers haven't even competed yet. Kajiyama, for example, earned 108 points in the team competition, while Malanin, with errors, earned 98. In this regard, Petra's result is quite exciting for all of us. And yet, as my wife, Tatyana Titmayanina, who knows the value of Olympic gold firsthand, says, this guy hasn't just been to Mars. He's still there. TASS quotes Yagudin as saying,